What is Ohio expected to do with that surplus?
There are ongoing discussions right now for the future of We Ohio. We obviously are very pleased to have a surplus of funds. We will be making an announcement shortly after the beginning of the new year as to the direction and structure of We Are Ohio. At this point, we just have not made a final determination.
Do you expect to be involved in the 194 campaign?
That is under discussion, but we have not made any decisions yet.
Why didn't you use all the money on the Issue 2 campaign? Why is there leftover?
We had some leftover funds just because, we had more than 12,000 individual small donor contributions, and we were getting money right up until and after the election. And so we obviously budgeted as a campaign does, and we just got a lot more money from those small donor contributions than we ever anticipated.
And when you say there's discussions, who's discussing and who is the leadership of?
There's obviously various members of organizations representing workers, progressive groups. It's bipartisan, nonpartisan. There's also grassroots organizations that have all been involved in this from the beginning, who are coming together and talking to one another. There hasn't been a formal meeting yet about the direction and structure moving forward, but that's going to occur shortly.
The possibility that there could be a right-to-work proposal on the ballot next year or the year after if they ever collect enough signatures. Does that prod you to think about that that's one reason to keep this group together to fight that? Or?
We're concerned about any effort to undermine the working and middle class in Ohio, any effort at all. Obviously, right to work is an effort to hurt working people. And I believe that that's one reason why there are discussions going on right now, is because Senate Bill 5 was a tremendous threat to working families in this state. Right to work would be the same, and we have an obligation to try to do the best we can on behalf of working and middle class people in this state.
Dennis, during the 194 signature gathering phase, We Are Ohio was involved in that. Were you spending money at that time? Or was that strictly volunteers?
I'm sorry, would you ask that again, Jim?
When the signatures were being gathered for 194, We Are Ohio was thanked during a press conference for being involved in helping to gather those signatures. So were you spending money at that point, or were those just volunteers?
My understanding is there were a lot of volunteers who got involved in that effort. I do not know if we spent any money on that. I just don't know. I know that there were lots of volunteers who felt that that was an attack on voting rights and an effort to undermine our plans to veto Senate Bill 5. And so there were people who had a like-minded idea, and they went out and volunteered on behalf of that effort.
And are there any obstacles preventing you from just rolling whatever money you've got in your pack right now into the next campaign?
Sorry, I just don't know the answer to that question legally. I don't. I can find that out and get it back to you, Jim, on that.
Legally, can your campaign give money to candidates?
I don't know the answer to that either, and I'll be glad to get back to you on that.
Is it safe to say that whatever you do, We Are Ohio is not just going to fade away?
Well, when you look at our Facebook, we have more than 100,000 likes on our Facebook. We have similar other Facebook that amount to more than 350,000 people across Ohio. We have a tremendous email list that signed up voluntarily when we asked them to on our website. So there are literally hundreds of thousands of people across this state who want to fight any effort to undermine working and middle-class families. And so I think that they're probably looking for some direction and help, and I think we have an obligation to do everything we can for them.
Is there a possibility the group will get involved in the redistricting reform effort?
I have not heard any discussions about that at this point.
If We Are Ohio plans to get involved in political campaigns of any sort, I mean, Maureen Reedy she's running for the House.
I'm not aware of any discussions of We Are Ohio being actively involved in political campaigns at this point.